Hello everyone, welcome back to the stream. I switched a new headset, so just let me know if the volume and everything is okay, or if it's like too loud, too light. Just let me know. I'm using a new headset, so not exactly sure if how the sound, how I sound on the new mic, new headsets. Um, just gonna get started for the session real quick. If you guys were on earlier, we did play the special event today. I thought it's tomorrow afternoon. However, I made a mistake. It's actually today because so they're telling me it's August 26th at 4 p.m. and I just assume it's gonna be like tomorrow, but I guess they're saying August 26th, but it's Taiwanese time, so Taiwan time, which is like Asian time zone. So instead of tomorrow 4 p.m., it's actually today 4 p.m. So kind of messed up there, but at least good thing that I was at home, so I was able to play. In terms of how we do, we were up like 2,800 something, almost up 3k, so pretty good. We were the biggest winner of the day. 3-betting here sometime, folding sometimes. Just gonna check and then expect us to win sometime here, most of the time here. He did turn a jack, that's unfortunate, but it's fine. 2p a7 offsuit. So if you guys are interested in the game, then definitely take a look. Pocket 7 we're 3-betting against the cutoff open. Seems like a recreational player, pretty loose. Queen Jack gonna open under the gun. On this board, we're just gonna check because it hits his big blind calling range just way too hard. However, once it check back and it turns the king, we can start betting. Just try to wrap the king and then try to take it away, and then we did. And facing an under the gun +1 3-bet with queen jack off, we're just gonna fold. Space set it 240. Thanks for a follow. Welcome to the stream. How are you doing today? Yeah, if you guys can, please let me know like if I sound any differently, like if I'm a little louder than normal or if I'm like a little subtle than normal. Just let me know because I'm using a new headset and I just set it up right before the stream, so I really didn't have time to test it. From the way I look at it on Streamlab OBS, it just looks fine, but I'm not like 100% sure. So please let me know like if I sound like normal, if I sound better, if I sound worse. Just let me know so I can adjust it a little bit. The new headset is definitely a little better. Feel like the sound is just a little better. On this, we're gonna flow the flop bet. Facing a 4-bet with ace 10 suited, we are. I mean, obviously we can be squeezed, but I'm just gonna fold to him. And on this board, we are most likely check calling. Check raising is okay as well. And then here he checked the turn. We're actually gonna bet a little bit here. Just gonna bet and bet the river maybe, depending on how quickly he called. We can go for a check raise. I think it's actually better here. On the river, he did check call the turn, which means that he has a king for trap, or he has something like pocket 10s and pocket 9s. And I don't think any of those hands are folding to our river bet because we have tons of busted flush draw. Just gonna give up and give it to him. Jack 3, that's a little bit loose. Here we check raise with pocket 7 and get there on the turn with the set. He could have some 10-9 in his range, so I'm not exactly sure if we should be betting this. But he could also have flush draw, so I guess we just try to bet against an unknown player. Hopefully we don't get raised, because if we get raised here, he almost guarantee having a 10-9. On this river, it's kind of bad for us, but it's not necessarily the worst hand, worst river, because he could have some overpairs here. He could have ace jack, so we're just gonna bet for value, like $40. If he jammed this river, then we're definitely losing. Just gonna bet something like ace jack will call, like pocket queens plus can call, and he does fold. It's actually a pretty bad river, I guess, because he's not calling with like he might just giving an opportunity to fold like ace jack, because the way we play the hand, it's just feel like we have 10-9 very often there. Ace queen, we're just gonna start with the standard c bet here. And here we flop queen and the flush draw, definitely gonna continue. On this turn, I feel like we have to overbet if we wanna continue. Checking back isn't the worst. Here we're just gonna check call. No reason to check raise because there's an ace on the board, so obviously he can have like some kind of ace as pre-flop raiser. Just gonna probably check call again. And on this river, we are probably gonna go for an overbet. He could have a king that would probably call. He does just fold. Just gonna check this river, and I expect him to check back very often since he checked the turn. He does have queen 10, and then I had a speed. That's a little bit unfortunate, but expected. Pocket queens definitely going in with the 3-bet in a blind. Gonna open a little bit loose with jack ace suited at mid position. We do face a 4-bet. I think we just get it in here with queens. I don't see any other ways to play this hand. Good luck to us. Hopefully we don't run into kings or aces. He didn't snap call. That's always a good sign. Ace king, can we hold? Just need fade one more card, and we do. That's always good. We have been winning flips recently. That's why we have been on a pretty crazy upswings. That's what happened when we run good. Hello, good luck and sound good. Thank you so much, Long Con. Welcome to the channel again. If you missed the action earlier when we played 10-20 5,000 buy-in game, you can always go back to check our stream video history. Like, I'll never charge you guys anything to get access for previous videos. I know most of the poker player, most of the poker streamer, they do that. Like, you have to sub and then pay like, I mean, it's reasonable. It's only like $4.99 or something, and you get access for all the previous video. But I'll try not to do that. I'll try to keep everything free, because that was the purpose of this stream anyways. Just don't see the reason to charge you guys. On this flop, we start with a small c-bet, and then if it gets called, we probably just give up. Unless we get like another club or something on the turn, then we absolutely gonna barrel. On this turn, we're just gonna give up. We still beat like queen jack or something, so we still beat queen jack, so ace high can be the best hand here. He does have pocket eights and river a set. That is fine. Pocket ace is definitely we're gonna open, and here we are not gonna defend 9-7 off. Defending sometime, but sometime we have to fold. 3-betting with jacks out of position. And here on this board, when he check to us, we can check back sometimes. Not the greatest turn, but doesn't mean that he has a 6. He might try to wrap for one, but definitely calling. And we are still, regardless if it's the ace on the river, we're still gonna call this river bet. Facing a 4-bet, I guess we go for jam sometimes. He does have 6, that's unfortunate, but with his hand, he's gonna continue anyways if we see bet the flop. And here, facing a 4-bet from cutoff, it's pretty close between a jamming or fold. I don't see any other way to play this hand. I don't think calling is an option. We're just gonna get it in actually against the decent regular and get snap call, and then we flop it jack. That's always good, and he's drawing dead. We are running good, boys. Finally running good, and this is what happened when we run good. We just go on a crazy upswing. Not even running good, just winning 2 consecutive flips. That's kind of like a big achievement for us, because we just have been running pretty bad recently, but not recently, like previously. Last month we ran pretty bad, but this month it's been pretty great in terms of actual earning versus expected value. Well, I've been running pretty good, and just gonna fold here against an unknown player. Here 3-betting is okay, flatting is okay as well. We're gonna go for a flat here. That's definitely not a flop for King Queen. Just gonna fold. There's no reason to do anything crazy here. Pocket 8s is probably something that we want to be 3-betting with instead of just flat calling, because it doesn't play as well out of position if we don't have the initiative. Ace King definitely 3-betting. Gonna make it a little bigger too. We're just stacking earlier. Wanted to flow, but it's okay to fold as well. Here facing a 3-bet from a regular player, I guess. Gonna peel 6s. Facing a 4-bet from somebody who don't normally 4-bets. This is a pretty close between jamming and folding. Since we 3-bet under the gun +1 and then there's under the gun still to act, I feel like this 3-bet is a little bit stronger than normal. We actually gonna fold here. That guy doesn't really 4-bet bluff that often. Here we see betting with the larger sizing. Here, when he checked the second time, we're gonna try to bet a little bit. And we turn trips, but flush does get there. Just gonna barrel. Don't see a reason why not. Use like a 2/3 sizing. Lieutenant, was fun watching that 10-20 game earlier. Glad to see you made it on again. ACR has -2 outer me. 2 outer you 5 times tonight. Are you serious? We are checking back on this river. Ace Queen. He river a gutter ball. That's fine. 2 outer 5 times is very brutal, man. I guess you're running worse than we are, or you're running worse than we were. But just believe that things gonna turn around eventually. It absolutely did turn around for us. Facing a dunk bet on a turn. With pocket 3s, we're not gonna defend this, since there's just not anything that can improve our hand. 9-10 suited, we're getting 3-betted. Blind versus blind, definitely peeling a flop. Pretty decent flop. This is not the worst flop for pocket 6s, even though it's a 3-bet pot. Gonna check call at least once. And we're check calling here. Checking again. Ace-8 offsuit is not the greatest hand. Blind versus blind against pretty good regulars. Just gonna check it to him. I feel like we had the best hand here very often. Against the bigger bet on the turn, we're just gonna give it to him. Not gonna go crazy with the naked flush draw. Now he's tanking, I'm not exactly sure why, and then he does give up. We are definitely not folding there, so it's probably pretty smart for him to give up. And here, we flop gusha and backdoor flush draw. I guess we can start with the small c-bet. Or we can size up a little bit, either way works. I guess small c-bet should be fine. And we are isolating the limper. We do flop top pair, so it's just gonna start with a small c-bet. Actually, probably use the larger sizing is better. I feel like we're gonna get check raised a lot if we use the smaller sizing. And folding here. Pocket 3 opening on the button. Queen 10 at the cutoff, it's pretty close. If we want to play, it's definitely going to be a 3-bet. Folding is definitely fine. Blind versus blind suited ace, we're definitely opening. And we're defending 7-6 off and opening king 5 suited. Limpers, not gonna do anything after race. Facing a 3-bet, it's pretty easy fold with king 5 off. I mean king 5 suited. And here, he's absolutely gonna barrel the turn almost all the time. And using a smaller sizing, which is kind of weird, but we're still gonna fold. Blind versus blind, and we call the pre-flop raise, and then he just like pot the flop. Guessing he have like something like pocket 7s, pocket 8s, or overpair. He could be doing this with ace king, but either way we are dominated. And here on the flop, we do flop an ace. Let's start with the small c-bet on this board. And we do just pick up the pot. $93 players today, so a decent sized player. Definitely 3-betting here with ace queen off, facing mid position open at cutoff. 7-4 off. On this board, we're definitely going for a c-bet. Gonna start with a small c-bet here. And here, we're gonna start with a small c-bet. It's not the greatest flop for our hands. If it gets called, we just give up because we don't have that much potential. And we turn a gut shot, but not the greatest gut shot. Because any king would be a better hand. Just gonna give up here. And pocket 10s on this board, we are definitely gonna size up our c-bet. King queen is the best hand. We do face a double raise. On this really dry board, not really worry about any draws. Actually, just gonna put in a 3-bet, I think. I mean, he could have a 7. I guess we call. Gonna go for 3-bet because this guy doesn't like to fold to c-bets. So just pocket 10s, like there's not too many good turn for us. If it's like a jack plus turn, then it's gonna make our life extremely tough, and then we might be bluff off our hands very often. But if we just 3-bet the flop, if he calls, then he either have like a7, king 7, or like pocket like an overpair, He could also have a set or two pair. It's unlikely because it's a 7-3 deuce. On here we're gonna do a code 4 and folding to a big blind 3 bet. I'll quit the size 3x and come back after a year each time. I believe it was rigged with how much I get bad beat. Sorry that it happened to you, but on this board we are actually gonna check back. I feel like we don't really beat that much against the cold call 4-bet. He cold call our 4-bet. He has jacks, nines, and ace. Those are becoming a set. And then he could obviously have aces and kings here, so we're just gonna check back here flop. We do have a got shot straight flush draw. Gonna call this bet. Obviously, he could obviously have a better hand here. Most likely a set or like kings or aces, but we're not gonna fold yet. We do have some draws. Not the greatest turn. Not the greatest river, and we just want to check back. Ace king, and then he does get lucky there, but he does have the king of clubs, so we were like flipping on the flop, so it wasn't like we were like a huge favor there. If we see bet the flop, he's definitely calling, and he's just gonna get there with the king anyways. Not sure if we lose more money that way, but I feel like that hand's gonna play the same regardless. Defending with a cutoff open facing a 3-bet from button, definitely gonna call. On this turn we are just gonna barrel because he can has a lot of big spades, and then we do have 8 of spades, so our hand plays pretty well. And here we are check calling again. Not again, but like we're check calling. Ignition's UI is so terrible and I run awful on ACR options for US players bad. Yeah, unfortunately those are the two sides that we can be playing. Calling this turn. And we are calling this river. 4-betting is okay. I think suited plays better, so we can just call and see a flop. And facing this bet on the river, feels like we are behind. Like I feel like we're losing to like ace queen, but we still gonna call. Yeah, he does have ace queen, but we did pot control that one pretty well, so it wasn't like a huge deal that we lost it. Like it wasn't a big pot that we lost because of we did pot control it. And over here on table 4, we don't have any equity, and then he could very much have like ace queen, I mean ace king that had us pretty dead, so we're just gonna fold. Just keep playing, man. Like I'm not exactly sure, like have you ever like get a coach or something? Maybe take a look at your game. Sometimes we are running bad, yes, but most of the time like there's leaks that you have in your games, you just don't realize it. So maybe you can like get a coach or something, and then to take a look at your hand, and maybe the coach is able to detect what is going what's going on with your game, and then maybe he can spot some leaks, and then you can fix those leaks, and then that way you can become like a winning player. Because a lot of time like we are just when we are on downswing, like you don't focus on like if you're playing bad that much. You're just focusing on that you're losing, but most of the time like there's always improvement to be made in your game, so maybe do that. Hopefully that's gonna help. On this board we are checking back. There's just not that many hands that's gonna call us. Hopefully he's gonna try to bluff, and I don't think I'm gonna bet this turn either, because it just like we don't, I mean we have an ace so often here, and then if he doesn't have an ace we're almost never like making profits. I'm gonna try to go for a value bet on the river, and here we flop trips, so I'm gonna small c bet. Look at the bad beats from a different perspective, the mere fact you're getting good. Yeah, that's right. At least you're getting in and people are drawing to 2 outers. That's always good. And then we turn the second nuts, unless he had aces, which I don't think so, because aces will always 3-bet pre. And I'm gonna barrel this turn. He probably expects us to bet this turn very often, because it is an ace and then it hit our range pretty hard. And he continues to call, which means that he probably has a queen. I don't see him check calling with like pocket 8s or pocket 9s. So here he pretty much have a queen. I guess we go for a overbet here on the river. We have the absolute nuts here. He's never having aces here. He can have like pocket 5s, but that's about it. We are check calling the turn. Still beat flush draws. And he does fold. I don't think he's folding a queen. This guy 3-bet 3% of the time, so we're just gonna give it to him. And here we're checking back with the Jack 10. Yeah, it definitely sucks to be in a downswing, but it is the opportunity for you to improve your game. If you look at it that way, it's gonna help you. Because obviously running bad is like pretty terrible. On this river, I just don't see like what can we get off. Our hand just feel like a complete bluffy hand, so just gonna give up. Ace 3, I don't think he's folding that unless we're like potted or something. That's fine. Facing under the gun raise, king queen off can be a fold. 3-betting sometimes, but mostly folding. Pretty good flop for pocket 4s. Just gonna start with a small c-bet. Turn is a king, which is a pretty good card. Just gonna barrel like here we're 3-betting with the aces, and then we do get call again, and then we river the boats, which is always nice. I feel like he has an 8 here. Just gonna value bet the river. Hopefully he'll call with the 8. I feel like he's gonna fold here. Yeah, he does. If we miss, and then we're gonna triple barrel anyway, so I think the result will be the same. Obviously, when we have the bolt, obviously we're not like scared of anything. But if the river miss, we're gonna barrel anyway, so I feel like the result is just gonna be the same. Pretty good flop for our range. Not the greatest flop for our hand, but pretty good flop for our range. He called, and this is like a calling station type of player. Probably gonna just give up, because when he calls here, he has an ace very often. Especially he dunk bets. 3-way against 2 fishes. I guess we can peel with the suited queen. And he does check call. We can barrel here, but I don't see the reason, because I feel like he has an ace very often, so just gonna check back. And when he check again, I feel like he has like some kind of jack X. Queen jack, and then we do chop it. That guy is a little weird. Check calling after somebody who already called with the 3rd pair. It's just kind of loose. Maybe try to hit his 2-pair draw or trip draw. Gamer unknown, welcome to the stream. Good to see you. Did you follow our stream earlier, the 1020 game? It actually happened today. I thought it's tomorrow, but it's Taiwan time, so it's Asian time zone. So it was actually today, and then I did play on stream. If you missed it, you can always go back and watch it. Here, just start with a small c-bet on this board. Pocket 7s, it's okay to fold sometimes. Mostly 3-betting, but there's a limper in front. We do face a check raise. On this board, I think we have to get it in. He can have jacks, he can have tens, he could have like aces and kings. But like we're not folding on this flop. He could have like overcards and flush draw. A good thing he didn't snap call. That means we have the best hand. Here we are c-betting with the open-ended flush, open-ended straight draw backdoor flush on overcards. Open and 3-bets. I guess we can go for a code 4, but out of position against those players. This guy only opened 9% of the time. Definitely calling here in position. Gonna fold tens. It's a little bit tight fold, but I don't mind because this guy's super tight. I just don't see him messing around with like, especially like this guy probably see like his stats and he's still 3-bet when he opens 9% of the time. Just gonna give him more credit for a strong hand. He does check. I think we're checking back, and then he'll put us on like maybe like jacks or tens here once we check back. And we do hit the nuts on the river. That always helps. And yeah, they're definitely having pretty strong ranges there. He definitely has something really strong. He value bet the river. I think we're gonna go for a pretty big raise. I guess he's doing this with. I'm trying to think what kind of hand he has. Maybe 2 pair or like a set, hopefully. Just gonna raise to like 80 with the absolute stone cold nuts. There's a good chance he might call. He might be doing this as a bluff. Yeah, I feel like he's calling with like a set and 2 pair for sure. Here, cutoff versus button, we gonna peel a flop with Jack 10 suited. Folding is just extremely weak. Queen A is pretty close between folding and calling. I guess we defend. We do flop top pair in the gutter. Just gonna fold here actually. Not the greatest flop for Jack 10 suited. We do have a backdoor flush draw, but I'm not sure how much he's gonna bet on the turn. So it's very unlikely we get there. We have 2 pair, however a 9 makes it a straight. I guess we can start betting a little bit. Vitaly EV, thanks for follow, welcome to the stream. Here our straight gets, our 2 pair gets killed. And we are losing to ace queen, king queen now, so I think we gonna check. And he has 10-8. It worked out for us. Ace jack suited, pretty close between 3-betting and folding. Probably gonna go for a 3-bet here. And pocket nice, we're definitely 3-betting against a bigger stack. He does call. We flop a gut shot. Just gonna start with the check, I guess. We can obviously bet, but we don't have a diamond in our hands, so our hand actually doesn't play that well. Here facing a 4-bet, it's a very easy fold. He does use a larger sizing on this board. We're just gonna fold. Unfortunately, it's not a board that we want to continue with pocket nice. He does have tons of sets there. He could have overcards. I mean, he could have like overpairs. Just not a flop that you want to be messing with, especially playing 250 big blind deep. Calling with king queen off. Flopping top pair on a pretty dry board. Gonna check raise this flop. Ricardo CG86, welcome to the stream. Thanks for the follow. We are getting there for our August follower goal. It's pretty close. Only need 10 more followers to get there. I think we will, hopefully. Pocket 10s facing under the gun raise. This is kind of like a weird spot. I think we should be 3-betting here though. Thank you for the info. Of course I missed it, but I'll check it out. Sounds good. Enjoy the session. Against 2-player, I guess it's okay to just give up on this flop. He does just call, and then it's a little bit concerning since he raised under the gun. We're just gonna start with a small c-bet here and then see what he does. And he does just fold, that's nice. Maybe he has like ace queen, ace king. Small c-bet here. Pocket queens again. We have tons of pocket queens today, but no aces, no kings. Not. I think aces once, then there's like no action, and then didn't have any pocket kings yet. Pretty good turn. If we want ace, we'd check here as well. And here flop it's like ace high dry board. We're gonna start with a small c-bet, and here we're calling, and then we're gonna check to him again. If he bets again, then he definitely have an ace. And he just gave up. Because when we check call the turn and check the river again, we'll play our ace that way. So he's gonna be afraid of an ace. Turn 4 doesn't really change anything. If he had us beat, he still had us beat. We're just gonna check back and see what he does on the river. If he has an ace here, I expect him to bet like $12 or something. If he checks, we have the best hand and probably can go for value. $4 we have to call. King queen, I don't know what he's doing. Might as well bet more. What's his name? Gonna attacking a fish player. Here facing 4-bet with the ace-5 suited. Ace-5 suited is not the hand that we want to go to war with. It's a pretty good 4-bet bluff hand, but that's about it. Pocket 5s on this board, we start with a check. And here we're folding. It's actually gonna check fold. Snake pawn. So this guy's definitely a fish, a weaker player. Because we're betting like $4 on the river just makes absolutely no sense. Like we'll call with like any pair. Or maybe he was just banking on that we don't have a pair. This guy's definitely a recreational player. Opening with ace 7 offsuit. I don't like to play ace 7 like offsuit, like middle ace, like ace 9, ace 8, ace 7, ace 6 offsuit. Those type of hands just like pretty bad. It doesn't get you any value, and then when you flop like this, I mean you can lose a lot of money. We're gonna start with a check actually. On this board, there's really nothing that we should be worrying about. On this turn, there's some like gut shot combinations, so we're gonna start betting the turn for sure. We raised under the gun. Big blind defended. The weaker player defended. We're just gonna call here and let him bluff the river. That's a pretty good river. He could have some flush though. When he lead out here, he could definitely lead some flush draws. Here we are seeing a flop with threes, and then here we start with a small c-bet. When he checked, I feel like he has a queen here, so we're just gonna target the queen. I think $15 he will call. Not sure if we should be folding, but I guess we call once. Oh shit. Oopsie, I messed up the table sizing. Sorry about that. When he barreled the second time, we can just fold. Don't think this is the player who's capable of turning, let's say, ace king into a double barrel bluff. Maybe he is, but like we just don't have a hand to catch in. Uh, 6-9 off. We are not gonna defend, even though it's three-way, and we only need like $3 more. But that hand just doesn't play that well. Here A9 suited, we can actually go for a cold call. A6 suited facing a small blind 3-bet. I guess we can defend sometimes, so I'd rather defend with like Ace5. A6 just like doesn't play that well. We flop a flush draw and then he checked. He c-bets 100% of the time, so even though it's small sample size, so I'm guessing he has like pocket jacks here, so we're actually gonna use a larger sizing here. If we can get like jacks and tens to fold, it's a huge win, and we did. I'm not sure if that's why he has. He could have like ace jack or something, but ace jack should definitely be a c-bet with a gut shot straight draw. Gets cold call in the small blind, which is always the indication that he is the weaker player. On this board, we are going to c-bet a lot bigger, especially against two players. There's a donk bet. On this board, we're definitely putting a raise. Donk bet and a call. We're definitely gonna put in a raise. They can have like some two pair, some pair and flush, pair and straight draw. They can have like two pair that already beat us. He could have like a set. He could flop a straight, but we're still gonna go for it. When we put in this raise, we are wrapping like aces pretty hard over pair. So it'll be pretty difficult for them to try to like outplay us. However, he did cold calls, which is a little bit concerning because on this board he could have like 6-9 suited for a straight, some kind of two pair. On the ace turn, I guess we could have aces here. So if we bet again, it's gonna put him in a pretty difficult spot if he has two pair. But I don't see the reason why we should turn our hand into a bluff, especially if we have position. So we're just gonna check back here. And if he bet out, he has at least minimum two pairs here. Defending with ace 10 suited. It's pretty straightforward. Like if I know he's like trying to use time bank and just to delay this process. When he bet this river, he has to have minimum like a two pair. He's never betting this with a bluff as a bluff. Like never in a blue moon that he's bluffing here. I guess we could be doing it with like ace 6 maybe, but even ace 6 that beat us already, so we just cannot call this river. Unfortunately, we're definitely beat. Fubar TV, what's up? Welcome to the stream. Good to see you. On this turn, so this guy check call our c-bet and then donk bet the turn. we do have the blocker, so we can either go for a call here or we can just raise. We are playing pretty deep, so raising might not be a bad idea. Let's just go for a raise here, because I feel like that's gonna give us access to bluff the river, rather than just, you know, calling. And then we do just take it down. That's the benefit of raising. There's always full equity when we raise, but if we just call, we pretty much have to make our hand, and then we only had ace high there, so like getting him to fold there is such a big win for us. Here we 3-bet with kings, and if he jams, we have to call. And ace jack suited facing mid position open. It's pretty close between a 3-bet and fold. Gonna go for 3-bet here. And this guy's tanking, I don't know why. There's really no reason. Facing a 3-bet, just gonna 4-bet and get it in. Here we are, get it in. So he tanks forever and then like 4-bets. Like, what the fuck, dude? Like, why tanks, dude? On this file, we're just gonna start with a small c-bet, and if he gets called, then we just done with the hand. And here we do just pick up the pot with the 4-bet. It's always nice to just pick up the pot without any equity, without have to dealing with any equity. On this turn, we can either go for it, bet this turn and then like jam the river, or we can give up. Against a player like that who folds to this 3-bet like 80% of the time, I feel like he has a real hand here. 604 cap. Hey Lee, how did the game go? It went pretty well. We were the biggest winner, and I think we were up like almost 3 grand, 2800 or something. Here we are gonna peel a flop with the ace 10 suited. So we're up like 3 grand, 2800 and some change, close to 3 grand. Just gonna fold the river. There's no reason to do anything but to, even though it's like a tiny bet, but we don't really beat anything. This guy is definitely a recreational player. Ace king, we're gonna check, and here we are checking back. I move over to GG or NA, and the game are so much better than Poker Star. Yeah, and Natural A game is like definitely one of the best. Really close to Ignition games actually. Here we feel like we have to bet a little bit. Actually, checking back isn't the worst. And here we're just gonna bomb this river. He almost never has anything, and we're checking back. Ace jack is the best hand, and he did call with an 8. That's interesting. We got obviously we got caught there, but still surprised that he had an 8 and played that way. He checked the flop and then like called the turn and called the river. But I guess it worked out for him here. Sucks that we have to bluff away our money, but sometimes it happens. So definitely do not mind. The rake system seemed high. 1-5 stack at 10L and pay $9 at rakes. Yeah, its rake is a little high, but their rake back is pretty good too. So their fish tank and their bonuses, you can get like up to like almost like 100% rake back if you like grind really hard. Just the fish system, the fish tank system alone give you like close to 50 if you get to like shark level. So it's not the worst, but I feel like the game is just worth it to play there because obviously the game is really soft. Just gonna check back on this, and we do turn top pair, that always helps. Just gonna bet the turn. Here, facing a 3-bet by a tight player, ace 8 suited, we probably just fold. Yeah, Poker Star is like one of the worst place to play right now because their rake is crazy. Their rake back is terrible right now, and the games are like the toughest. I guess the ACR is still one of the better sides, even though we're gonna 3-bet here with the king queen suited, and if we get called, we have to play carefully because it was a mid position open. I'm gonna c-bet with the overcard and backdoor flush draw. Not the greatest turn. We can barrel obviously, and we can just give up. Probably just give up without equities. It's around 7 BB per 100 on GG, depending a little play style. So rise and star higher, around the same. Yeah, star is pretty much same shit. Just gonna fold this turn, and here we are checking back actually. Turns the heart. We do have a nine of heart. I'm gonna start with a small bet here on the turn, just to wrap a queen. We'll play the same way if we have a queen. Here we are gonna peel with Jack 10 suited in position. And river is another queen, which is not a bad card. He could have jacks, but I feel like he's checking back very often. And we're just gonna check. Pocket jacks, so kind of like a bad river for him if we had like aces and kings, but we didn't, so he won the pot. GG rig is lower at micro and higher at low to mistakes. That's good to know because most of the places like ACR charges crazy rate for micro stakes. On this board, we are just gonna check behind. On GG, it's 5% 3BB cap, so very good cap, but rake takes on pot, higher even pre-flop. We are calling the turn, and probably calling the river. Depending on how big he bet, he probably has a jack here or nothing. Ace jack, that is the best hand. The upside about GG is the interface. I feel like they have the best interface in all the platforms. I just feel like their interface is so awesome. On this board, we're gonna see bet a little bigger, especially against two players, because the board is connected really well with their calling range. They can have tons of king queen, I mean king 10. On this ace, we are actually gonna check because they can have some king 10. When he bets here, we have to be like extremely careful because it's very likely he has king 10. We are just gonna check call, and then on the river we are check calling. But I'm not gonna feel happy about it if you like barrel this river pretty hard because very often you have king 10 here. Even queen jack is probably a check back, in my opinion. He does use the $50 sizing. We have to call. I'm not happy about it. I feel like we're losing here more than we're winning, so chop chop. Pretty happy with that result. Here we are checking back on the turn, and we river a straight. That's always nice. So yeah, GG interface is just awesome. We're gonna bet like $10 here, and hopefully like a jack will call. Ace 10, that's interesting that he flowed the flop. Yeah, GG interface is just awesome. I love it. Like you just so the thing about GG is that GG natural 8, they're pretty much same shit. So when you play on that side, you just don't feel like you're grinding poker. You feel like you're playing a game. Like it's very interesting. They're really like they innovate like a lot of good things. Like those free bomb pots for free. Like just put like extra money in the pot. We're playing pretty deep, and this guy 3-bet 3% of the time. So with queen 10 suited, definitely a hand that we want to call with 200 BB deep, and then if we have the right flop against someone who has no experience, we can pretty much win a lot of money, but definitely not a flop like this. Nelvin Spence, thanks for the follow. Welcome to the stream. Here we're 3-betting with jacks, and if he 4-bets, we are getting in. Ace high flop. Just gonna start with the c-bet. Expected to have like tons of ace here. We don't have that many fives. He doesn't have any fives in his range, so on this turn, most likely we're both gonna check very often with our hands. And on the river, I'm not sure if he's gonna value bet an ace. Probably a check. He might value bet an ace, but I just don't see the reason. Yeah, when you play on GG, it's just very interesting. It's very fun. Those random bomb pots, people going crazy in those pots, like jamming with pocket nines all the time. Like I would do the same because those bomb pots are just pocket nines. Okay. Yeah, those bomb pots are very fun. And then it offers running twice, running 3 times. And it has like those really cute emojis, really interesting emoji where you can taunt other people, you can give props to other people, and it also has insurance, which I never buy because I feel like buying insurance makes absolutely no sense. Like, cause variances is part of the game. If you're buying insurances, then in the long run, like, what are you doing? Like, you're not making money. So insurance just doesn't make any sense. Like I would never buy insurance, but like running it twice and 3 times, I definitely do that. Whenever people request it, I always just run it twice, run it 3 times, whatever they want, because that doesn't change the, it doesn't change the percentage or anything. It just lower the variance, which is good for us. Like obviously you guys know like how much variance we have been going through recently. So like going twice, running 3 times is definitely good for us in terms of like lowering variance. But like buying insurance just makes absolutely no sense. But obviously it's a feature where recreational player will enjoy a lot. Like somebody who doesn't play every day, they might enjoy insurance a lot, because if they just play like, let's say like once a week or something, and then they play like a bigger game, just playing for fun, and then they don't want to get sucked out when they have aces, then insurance is definitely for this kind of players, like recreational player. That's why the side, like the game, is pretty good, because it generates and it attracts a lot of recreational players, so it's very good. Here king queen offsuit facing a 10% open player, we're just gonna fold. You might think it's a little bit loose, but it's actually the correct play in my opinion, checking back on this flop. Facing the lead on the turn, just gonna fold. Our hand's like no equity. On this board, I don't think we are continuing with nothing. We have backdoor straight draw, that's it, so not the biggest fan of continuing there. GG rake is lower at micro, around the same. The best interface is on Unitones, Dream UI. Run it once. Definitely gonna take a look at it. We raise under the gun, facing a 3-bet from the big blind, small blind. This generally means like stronger range, and then we're playing pretty deep, so I am just gonna fold ace 10 suited here. It's okay to peel a flop, but most of the time we're dominated, so folding isn't the worst. Here on this board, we decide to check back. On this turn, I feel like tempting to like raise him, but against a fish player, I'm just not gonna do it. Like, what is this guy doing, man? Just rips like $260 versus like a 3x open. I guess whatever. On this board, we are starting with a small c-bet. Hopefully we just take it down. If we don't, we can always hit our ace or queen on the turn. We flop a set here against the opening under the gun raiser. I think we're gonna barrel here and possibly just get it in. He checked the flop, we're gonna bet the turn. It's kind of weird that he checked the flop because ace jack 6 just hit his under the gun raising range super hard. If we barrel this, we have to basically go all in on the river. Let's just go for that. That's gonna make the pot 160, and then we jam the river. And we are jamming the river. He doesn't have any 5 in his range, so I'm not too worried about a 5. We just have to get like pocket 10s and pocket jacks to fold. Wow, he has pocket 5s. Wow. That is shocking, dude. Like, I am shocked there. That is just unlucky, because I feel like his calling range is like cap at like pocket 10s, and then on this turn we're just gonna barrel pretty big. That's a little bit shocking. I am not regretting our play. It's just that I don't think he has that many 5s in his range. Unfortunately, he did have a 5. Then that makes it an automatic call and pretty easy call. Even though we bluff away like 150 BB. But in a long run, I still feel like the jamming on the river is definitely a winning play. For example, if like the river is like another random cards and then we're jamming, then we are getting off the hand. And if he has like pocket 10s and pocket jacks here, I think he's folding on the river. It's just unfortunate that he had a 5 there. So we run into like top of his range. Here we're just gonna pure flop against 2 player. Yeah, that's a little bit shocking. But it happens. It happens sometimes. Russian has 3 BB cap on regular tables. The cap is way higher on the micros. I'm not an expert in terms of how much each side charges for rakes, so not the best person to ask. Yeah, that's a bummer. We bluff away 150 BB stack, but I don't regret it because he just pretty much hit the miracle card. Any other river, I feel like he's folding, and it's very hard to put in on a 5 there. He has pocket 5s, good for him. I don't mind. It happens sometimes. Just bluffing and then running into the nuts. Have absolutely no problem. On this board, we're just gonna start with a small c-bet. That is unfortunate. Feel kind of dumb, but that's what happens, man. You have to mix up some bluffs, so that way you get paid with aces. 3 betting with the ace jack suited. He does call the flop. After tanking for a little bit, I guess we check it to him. We don't really beat anything but like queen 10. On this board, we are just gonna start with a c-bet, and if it gets called, then we just fold. Like we just give up pretty much, and then here call a 3-bet, a pretty good flop for nice. Definitely gonna bet pretty big on the flop. And he bet 23. Just gonna fold. I don't see him ever bluffing here. If he had like queen 10, he's just gonna call. 3 betting with ace jack suited. Here we are folding. He check called the flop. I feel like he's doing that with like ace king very often. He can be doing that with like ace king, ace queen. Hopefully not ace jack. We're just gonna use a blocker bet here. Feel like he can still call with the ace king. And here we flop over cards and flush draw. Just gonna start with a small c bet. And here with jacks we are 3 betting. And this got check called fairly quickly. Here we flop king 9-9 on. We have aces. Pretty good flop. He can have some nice, but most likely no. And we river a 9. That always helps. We are checking back on this turn, and we don't get there. Interesting. He call and then turns another 9. If he has a king, I don't think he's ever folding here. And here, easy call on the river. And he was just bluffing. That like he had ace king, like we put him on ace king, and then we use the blocker bet. I don't know why he just jammed the knight. It makes absolutely no sense, but obviously he can play whatever way he wants. On here, I feel like we just bet like a little over half the pot. Actually, I think we have to use a larger sizing to stack him. Let's do that. If he has a king, I don't think he's ever folding. Hopefully he doesn't have a quad here. That really sucks, but we just have to lose our stack if that's the case. Calling river ace. If he has a quad here, we just have to lose. I think regardless, like we have to lose. But ace is actually a really bad card because like now king, you can make a case for king to fold now. I guess we have to go for like a smaller bet, like 65 or something, versus like just jamming, because I feel like jamming is always just gonna fold. I'm not sure. Trying to figure out what sizing do we use. I feel like he has a king, dude. If he had a king, probably bet like 75. He does have a king, and he snap call. That's good. If we jam, I feel like he might fold. That's actually a really bad river for us. If the river is like anything else, like we jam, he will have to call. Unfortunately, that the ace have to come on the river. Very, very bad card. Just unfortunate river. Nothing we can do there, pretty much. If it's like any other card other than an ace, we are going to stack him. So we lose like $75 value there, but I guess we shouldn't be greedy. It's just a bad run out for our hand, but it was a pretty good flop and pretty good turn, so we have to look at it that way, and we can't just be like, oh, the river is shit, like because of the river we lost like blah 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 value. But at the same time, it was a good flop and an amazing turn. Without that turn, we were never able to stack him. But unfortunately, river saved him 75 bucks. On that river, if we jam, I feel like he's probably folding king. He might fold. It's just a good chance that he might fold kings, because we had tons of ace king there. So king queen, it's very difficult for him to call a shove. But if we just bet like 75, it's automatic call. Like you see how fast he called. He snapped it. Here on this board, we check him back. A4 offsuit is just not the hand we want to even peel the flop. It's just pretty worthless. The open jam play with aces and kings actually work on the micro state. It was effective for me at 25 ignition. I got a lot of open jam. I guess, but the goal is like, so our goal is not like, your goal shouldn't be like to beat the micro stakes. Your goal should be moving up. So if your goal is to move up, then you shouldn't care like how much how those people at micro stake play, because that's not gonna help you when you move up. Like people are just not gonna play like that. So instead of focusing on how to adapt and play against them, you should be focusing on playing your ranges correctly, playing your hands correctly, playing your position correctly. That way it's gonna help you when you move up. Instead of just worrying about, oh, like how this guy plays in micro stake, I have notes on him, blah blah blah, I'm just gonna change the way I play because I had history with him. Like there's really no point to do that, because you don't need to do that to beat micro stakes. You just have to like focus your ranges and then just play your ranges correctly, and then that way it's gonna help you when you move up. Because when you move up and start playing against better players, they are just not going to play the same way as micro stake players. On this turn we are folding. Sorry, D phone died. So what do you think of rake at GG? I actually don't know, because like, so I don't get rake, I get extra rake back because obviously I know Kitty, and then my friend is pretty close with Kitty, so I signed up through her. So I do get extra 20% rake back on top of all the bonuses. So I do have a fish tank, and then I do have all the other bonuses, and then on top of that I get additional 20% rake back, just internally. Here on this flop we are probably just gonna check, and then here we are betting the turn. So for me, I do get additional rake backs. So the rake is not as punishing for me versus like a regular normal player. So I'm probably not the person that you ask, because when I play natural A, I actually get, like, if we include the bonuses, like the daily, right now they have like those daily additional bonuses for WSOP tickets. If you include those, I'm actually getting like 120% rate back or something like that because of those tickets. So I actually don't mind the higher rate because I get most of them back anyways. How was your session at the 1020 game? I was up like 3 grand. I was one of the I was actually the biggest winner. We're up about like 3k, 2800-ish, a little under 2900, so close to 3k session. Pretty good. Ran pretty good, played pretty good. I think they're gonna like broadcast they're gonna broadcast the session. And then once they do that, we're gonna bet the river. Hopefully we can just take it away. We can wrap a queen here. Once they do that, I'll post a link during a stream or something. He is tanking. I think he's probably trying to figure out if he should call with ace high or something, which is good. Here we flop top pair. On this board we are using a larger sizing, and we do get through the bluff. That's always good. I'm not asking about the rake, I'm sharing the infos. Yeah, of course, thank you for sharing, because I actually don't have those informations. I mean, when I have time, I just play instead of worry about rake, because I feel like I'm winning player on any website, any platform, so it doesn't, like, it's not my concern to worry about how much they charge for rake, because regardless how much they charge for it, if you're making profit on the website and then you're playing on it, it doesn't matter. Like a higher rake side, like platform, if you're still crushing the game and you're having like amazing win rate, like it doesn't matter how hard, like how high the rake is, you're still gonna play the game, right? So for me, like, it doesn't really matter, and then I just don't focus on that as much. So I focus more on like how I do on the website, how I do on the platform, that kind of stuff, instead of like worrying about rakes. Because no matter if they charge 0 rake, and then you're losing on the platform, then it's just as bad, right? We're using a larger c-bet here. So for example, if like a platform charges you like 0 rake, but you're like losing on the side like all the time, like if let's say you're negative 10 BB per 100 losers on the side, and they're charging you $0 rake, like it's not gonna matter, right? You're just not gonna, I mean, you're still losing on the side. So even if they're charging you 0 rake, if you're losing, then what's the point, right? Versus if you're like winning at, you know, A side or B side, and then like you're crushing it at 10 BB per 100, like 7 or 8 BB per 100, and then you're getting, you know, the rake is high, but you know, it doesn't matter, you're crushing the game. If your win rate is still up there, then rate back doesn't really matter, I guess. I mean, regardless of like how much they're charging you for rakes. Ace 9 suited there, mostly 3-betting, but once in a while I'll fold, especially against like a tighter racer. That's just me though. Like if you guys are like, you know, grinding for it, if you guys rate back grinders, then obviously it matters, but just not the way I evaluate if I want to play on a side or not. For example, like in Ignition, like the game is like super soft on Ignition. Like even like the 2-5 like 500 NL game play like so soft. It plays like, sometimes I feel like it play weaker than 50 NL on ACR. But I just don't like playing on the platform because the interface is shit. Like I don't enjoy playing it on Ignition at all. Bovada, I play on Bovada, but it's same shit. Like I just don't enjoy playing on Bovada Ignition because the interface is shit. Like it's so hard to like bet. It's so hard to bet call. Like all the options, like there's no customization to the website, and then it's just really difficult. I have to input like how much I want to bet every single time. ACR is like pretty good, but like GG Poker and Natural is like the absolute best in terms of their interface. Like you can set like you can pretty much set 4 or 5 customized buttons, rather like what percentage you want to use when you're betting, like how many big blind you want to open. Like the interface is just so good, like a lot of customization. And then they have like a built-in HUD, which I don't use it, but like I mean it's a fair game for everyone. Like so I have big props to Natural and GG Poker. I just love the platform. I wish facing an open jam. This guy is definitely a recreational player. We are not gonna call with pocket sixes. Yeah, I'm a big fan of GG Poker and Natural A. Just their platform alone. I'm not talking about like their interface or anything like that. Just the platform, just the interface. Really love it. Calling pocket nice, facing under the gun. When he checked back the flop, we are gonna bet the turn. Gonna use a pretty large sizing too. If he can be checking back with like ace 10, king 10. Of course, like if he just fold, it's even better. Here we are check calling the flop, and we face a check raise on this board. It's pretty easy fold, and we are check calling here. On this turn, he's almost like always gonna barrel. What casino? What casino? I haven't talked about casinos, I think. What are regs if you don't have a command? What are tags if you don't have a command? There's a command. On this board, we are starting with a bigger c-bet, and here we are gonna call again, and then check fold the river. You can use like tags. I think it works. There you go. He calls the flop. On the turn, it's a little bit tricky. I think we barrel this. If he calls, then we have to be concerned that we are up against queens plus. He could obviously have pocket tens and pocket nines for a set here. Hopefully he just fold. If he continues, I don't think we have the best hand. If he just call, we might still have the best hand. But if we just like go nuts on this river, we are checking. If he jack, okay, ace 9, that's good. I was gonna say if he jams, that will suck. We probably have to fold. Good thing that he only has ace 9 there, and then I think we made the maximum in terms of maximum value. He only has second pair there, and he probably put us on like ace king or something. So this guy is jamming, and we are definitely gonna call. Finally get the hand to catch him. Last time we raised with sixes, and then he get it in, and we couldn't call. Can we hold us against ace king? We can, and we are winning all the flips today. That is always a good sign. Trying to see like how much was the pot. I think it was pretty big pot for he only has ace 9 there, so on this board we are c-betting with second pair. So he had ace 9 suited here, and we did make close to $115 on this pot, which is very good because he only have second pair on the flop and third pair on the river, so it's definitely a good pot. But if he's a good player, he probably turn his hand into a bluff on the river and just jams. Facing a check raise, we are not folding yet because he can be doing this with like a lot of random stuff. And we do turn a gosh shot. I am not rake back grinding at all. I just want to make sure I'm not wasting my time. Want to make sure the games are still beatable. I feel like any side, even the toughest side, star, is still beatable. You just have to be better. On this turn, once he checks, I'm just gonna check back. And then he's probably not gonna bet the river unless he have like a straight or something, because yeah, we are checking back. 10-9, so we do get sucked out. It's whatever. On this board, we are gonna 3-bet pockets. Nice. Under the gun +1 versus under the gun open. How was the 5K game? Did you win? Yes. Mr. Paul Boozer, my friend over there. I was up like close to 3 grand. So it was pretty good. And we flop a set, that always helps. Small c-bet here. I was up 3 grand. 2,800 and some change, close to 2,900. We were the biggest winner. On this board, we are actually gonna use a pretty big sizing, like a pot bet, and then get it in on the turn. Checking back this turn, and we did river 2 pair. Lose to 10-9 though, but since we checked the turn, we are not folding the river. Just gonna fold here. If he bets here, we are probably losing. Yes, we are losing. I just had a bad feeling about it. Like when he bets there on the river, I just feel like we're losing all the time. But since we checked the turn to pot control, we just couldn't fold the river, and it is a small pot, so it's whatever. This guy's definitely a recreational player. Gonna isolate him with 6-5 suited, and here we're gonna check back on this flop. Wreck it. Sorry man, Nightbot, I don't know what it is, dude. Like it just start banning my viewers when they like spam a little bit. I'm not even sure if he was spamming. Facing a 4-bet 6-5 offsuit is easy fold. On the turn, we're gonna start betting against a weaker player. Once he called, using a bigger sizing on this flop, I guess we bet full value. Maybe like a jack will call, hopefully. We do have some missed flush draw here. I don't know, it's the bot, dude. It's the bot, dude. I don't control the bots. I had caps to agree with you and around sided. That's a little ridiculous, but yeah, fuck the bots, right? Here facing under the gun race, we have queens. This is a little bit tricky. I feel like a 3-bet is mandatory, but if we get peeled, or if we get 4-bet, that'll put us in a pretty difficult spot. But we still gonna 3-bet. Gonna make it a little bigger, just so we have more protection. He dunk bet turn, pot size. I think we're just gonna fold here. On this board, we're gonna start with a check, and we are c-betting this flop. Don't get offended. It's just a bot, dude. On the turn, we turn a second nuts. Here we're just gonna bet again, and we're gonna lead out this turn. I'm gonna use a larger sizing as well because we are playing a little deeper. And he just folded, that always helps. And here he just folded as well, that's good. Just against those better regulars, we just have to be careful. Especially auto position playing super deep, just always have to be careful. We are folding a7, 3-betting sometimes, but folding most of the time. In this session, we just didn't 4-bet much. I don't know why. Just no opportunity to 4-bet. On this board, start with a small c-bet, and this is a guy that we triple barrel bluff, so I'm not sure if he's gonna want to mess with us out of position, since he knows we're capable of triple barreling bluff. He probably would tend to stay away after a hand like that, because even though we lost there, like he has to like respect our game. We are definitely not somebody that he wants to be messing with. We fought top pair, top kicker on this board. Gonna start with the c-bet. Expect to get raised. I chose the smaller c-bet just because there's a chance that he might raise. Using a larger c-bet is okay as well, but this is the type of flop where I feel like small c-bet would get more calls from like gut shot or something like that. Versus if you use a bigger c-bet, he does raise, which is very good because we have ace of club. If we don't have ace of club, I will be leaning more towards 3-betting. But since we have the ace of club, we can just call and then play out of position. It's fine. We most likely still have the best hand. Just gonna check it to him. Hopefully he will continue to bluff. We turn a flush draw here, and ace hit our range pretty hard. And unlike specifically, he has king 10. I don't see why we shouldn't be value betting here. Just gonna use the $30 sizing because we have tons of missed flush. We are probably gonna just raise this turn. And we are gonna bet 30, just pretending like we missed our flush. He just folded. When he check called the turn, I mean we bet and then call a raise on the turn. Not exactly sure what he has. He probably has something like a 10. Is the 10 gonna fold? I guess we just check back. I feel like he has a ace here very often. Pocket threes. A bet would definitely take it down, but we cannot be a result orientated. Against an unknown player, it was like the very first hand we play against that guy, so we have no histories. So it is fine to play in that way, but I feel like we should probably bet because an ace to probably lead out the river. I feel like he has a 10 there. I'm just not sure if he's gonna fold a 10. And then he did have a bolt. In that situation, I feel like he is probably gonna overcall if he's a weaker player, since I never play with him. So I'm just gonna automatically assume that he's a weaker player. And I don't think so. So when weaker player, like when he flop a bolt and then gets destroyed by the river, like his bolt just become like the third best bolt, they normally tend to overcalls because they're less experienced. They'll be like, fuck this shit, I'm just gonna call. So I don't actually mind like not bluffing that guy. Ace queen suited faced 3-bet from the small blind. And we have the button, definitely calling and see a flop. We do flop an ace, only losing to ace king. And here, facing a half c-bet, we are definitely continuing with our flush draw. And then we turn a pair, now we are check calling again. Obviously, we still lose to like ace king, pocket aces. We are calling this turn. And we are calling this flop bet. And another ace. If you had ace king now, it would be pretty difficult for us to fold. I guess we check back. Here we are just gonna check again. And he might just give up when we check call twice if he doesn't have anything. He does go for it. Can he be bluffing here? Absolutely. We are just gonna call this river bet and pocket jacks, that's fine. We are beating like ace x of diamonds. That's pretty much it. Will he really triple barrel here with the king though? If he had like ace king, he certainly will. Trying to figure out what do we beat here. It's a pretty dry flop except a flush draw, and then we do block flush draws pretty hard. Using a larger c-bet here. I just don't see there's that many bluffing combinations, so we're gonna give it to him. And here we face the dunk bet on the turn when the spades get there. Pretty interesting, but I don't think we can fold yet. Just gonna peel. And here with the gut shot and backdoor flush draw, it's good enough to call, but he used a larger sizing, so we are gonna just fold. When he checked the river, he can be like dunk betting with like ace of spades or something. We're just gonna check back. And we do have the best hand. He has ace 9. No idea why he dunk bet the turn. This is why like I don't dunk bet, because dunk betting is just really hard to balance. I just don't like dunk betting strategy at all. Obviously some people can use the dunk bet really well, but I'm not one of those guys. Here we are folding, and we are folding, we are opening. Sorry, I was reading chat, so I wasn't really doing anything for like a good 10 seconds. Calling an open raise when you're not in big blind. Yeah, GG poker games are really good. I play some 50 NL, I play some 100 NL, and I play some 200 NL. They're all pretty good games. However, I do run pretty bad on GG for some reason so far. Only log like maybe like 15,000 hands or like 20,000 hands. It's not that many, but I've been running pretty bad in those spots where those hands I played 20,000, 15,000, 20,000, something like that, and then just didn't run too well. But it's pretty normal having like a bad 25,000 stretch, 25,000 hand stretch where you're running like shit. It's very normal. And today I'm probably gonna wrap up the session really soon, because I did play the big games, and then it was a little bit more stressful than normal because we're playing against elite players. So it was pretty chill though. If you guys watch the stream, it was pretty chill. A lot of showing hands, a lot of like messing around, a lot of chats. So it was a pretty fun experience. Rash Omen 90, thanks for the follow. Welcome to the stream. And on this turn we are checking. There's no reason to bet the turn because we are only beating a bluff pretty much. So I'm just gonna check and let him bluff. And calling. He does get greedy, so we do make $2 more. I guess that's not bad. Where can I sub, Derek? Paul, you don't have to sub, man. I'm not like one of those streamers who charge for sub. I don't. That's not the goal of this stream. Like I don't really care about like making $4.99 a month, and then I'll rather like put the contents out there where you guys can go back and watch all the contents. This guy is like, what the fuck, dude? For free instead of like having to sub. I know most poker streamer they do require you to sub in order to access like previous streams, but I just don't like to do it. Like you guys know, like I don't do this for a living or anything. Obviously I can play for poker for a living, but I chose not to, and then I don't want to. But if I want to, I can definitely do it with my win rate. My win rate is like the top 1% in like 200 NL pool, so I can definitely do it if I want to. But I have gone through the poker pro career already, and then I didn't enjoy it, so I would try not to get back to that. However, if one day my business are doing like shit, and then I'm forced to play for a living, then you know, at that point I have no choice. But I just hope that my business continue to strive, and then business continue to do well. That way I would never have to play poker for a living. But if you get to a point where I have to, then I'm absolutely capable of doing that. Check calling with the ace. I don't particularly like it, but We do turn a gut shot. He can have like flush draw here, and flush gets there, and then we do have a stray. Hopefully he just checks back. I don't see it though. I feel like he's gonna bet, and I feel like we're gonna lose. He almost always have a flush here, but since we have a straight, it's just so difficult to fold now. I guess we just have to be right here, like 33% of the time. Is he ever bluffing here? I don't think so. But can we really fold a straight here? I don't know. Really wanted to fold though. This like. This guy's kind of like a fish, so if it's a regular, I'm definitely folding. But what do we beat? I mean, I don't think he would bet an ace like this on the river. Will he bet 2 pair like this? Maybe. I am gonna fold. I just don't feel like we're ever winning here against that sizing. It's kind of crazy to fold a straight there, but I feel like we're beat. Almost like I don't think we're ever good there. If we're good, probably like we're good there like 5 to 10% of the time. Definitely not 35. So shouldn't make that call because we need to be good there 35% of the time in order to make that call profitable. And then I just don't think that we're ever good there. Not nearly close. Like we're never even good there 30% of the time, 35% of the time. I think we might be good there like 5% of the time. That's it. So that was the reason why I folded, because I just feel like that's a spot where we are losing like more than 90% of the time, and then we have to be right there 35% of the time. So it's just in my opinion, it's just nowhere near. When we face a dunk bet, we are calling this turn, and then we are most likely folding the river. On this river specifically, we are definitely folding. Pretty easy fold too. It's not like end of the world. Like we unblock ace. Obviously, if we had like ace of spade, it would be a lot easier to play. But obviously, we unblock that, and then he just totally feel like he had a flush there. Defending with ace 10. Gonna wrap up the session. Actually, gonna rest a little bit earlier today. We do play tons of poker today. I played a few hours in the morning. 4-betting here and get it in. Hopefully we can win another stack before we wrap up the session. Pretty easy fold, the aces. On the turn, I actually feel like we're pretty much drawing that. I feel like he had a flush there. We are calling. Can we win another flip? We cannot. That is okay. Just gonna wrap up the session. Cannot win every flip. We already win enough flips today. Destined to lose one. Totally okay. I just wish the GG tracker would show your rake. I know, that's a little bit silly when their tracker doesn't show rakes. It's a little bit fishy too. Kings, not the best flop for kings. He has tons of like straight, pair and flush, pair and straight draw, straight and flush draw. We're gonna see bet a little bigger here, and then if he, okay, we just take it down, so we don't have to worry about nothing. And here we are 4-betting with ace queen. Ace king versus queens, cutout versus button is just standard. Nothing we can do there but to get it in. Nothing he could dare to do there but to get it in. Pretty standard situation. He does call on this flop. We are starting with the small c bet, and then if it gets called, we probably just give up. If he has like ace king here, he might just fold. Ikidump77, thanks for follow. Welcome to the stream, even though we are about to wrap up. Adventure Kate 97, thanks for follow. Welcome to the stream. Big Thunder, welcome to the stream. Yeah, that's pretty much it. We can't really expect to win every flip, so it is whatever. And let's see how we do today. I think we had the winning session. Hopefully, I can be wrong. Let me change the filter a little bit. Just gonna do date since let's do April. By possession, we are actually losing today. That's a little bit surprising. I thought like we're up a little bit, but I guess like we're losing a lot of smaller pots. It's only -60, so it's actually like a flat session. Our EV was -300, so we're supposed to be down like a buying and a half. So we run a little better than EV. And let's see if there's any interesting hand that we played. The hand we have losses. Obviously the ace queen. This is just a bluff that went wrong. He raised, we 3-bet, and then he called. We c-bet the flop, he called. On the turn we barrel, and then when we barrel the turn, we are planning to jam the river. Because here he's capped at pocket 10s, and then he just never really have a strong hand, unless he have like pocket 7s or something, or pocket 4s, but it's unlikely. He does call, and then on the river 6, it doesn't really matter. He doesn't have that many 5 in his range, so we decide to just rip it as planned, and then get snap call, and then he had pocket 5s. That's very unfortunate, but if he doesn't get this river, we're gonna take it down, and then on the turn is a still decent size pot, $167, but it didn't work out for us. Here, the next hand, ace king. This is a very last hand. We raise 3-bet from button, from regular. Definitely gonna put in a 4-bet, and then he jammed. We have the easy call, and we don't flop an ace, and we lose to pocket queens. This is pretty standard as well. Third hand, and then it's just a bunch of small pots. I guess we lose a lot of small pots today. That's why we ended up losing the session. Here, the biggest hand we won today, pocket jack in the cut. Small blind, 3-bet. He 4-bets, and then we just get it